Yeah, you guys should start doing webinars. I mean, I even just from gosh, probably talking to you for the last 30 minutes, I feel like I've learned so much more than I have in the last 3 weeks.
Yo, if you're in high ticket sales and you're super sick of the heavy the king wears the crown or the problem symptom reframes that are great for Instagram reels and TikTok but don't work in real world scenarios, this video is for you. I'm here with my closer Chris. He's out here in Tulum with me. Chris, go ahead and show yourself. He does a little bit of training. He's doing great. He's doing like 15K a month in commissions. And a lot of these guys from this other community, which I won't say names, you might hear it in the video, but it is what it is. They're not making the money that he's making, and they want to learn what he's doing differently to make money. So it's kind of a long video. The first 30 minutes is if you're on kind of a shitty roll. Like this guy, for example, had like a Filipino DM setter setting him appointments, and there's no sales process. He took like 55 sales calls and closed like 2 deals. So just brutal. The first 30 minutes talks about like the reality of the high ticket sales space, what we're seeing, especially actually being in the game and managing and leading teams, and how to actually frame yourself to get a better role. And the last 30 minutes is pretty much breaking down all the bullshit that you hear online about high ticket sales and all the old reframes that don't work and what actually works, some role play, and just some like free sauce fuel for these guys because I just kind of overheard Chris on the call. He was like, yo, Clay, come give him some free sauce. And what was going to be like 5 minutes ended up turning into an hour. So hopefully this video is valuable to you. I want to give you guys a little bit of context. That being said, let's jump in.
I'm gonna have Clay hop on real quick. He's gonna give you some sauce real quick. Clay Lake.
Yeah,
He's actually my sales manager.
Oh, the famous
awesome.
guy.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
man.
the famous guy. You know him, Colby? He like Blake Maddox and Clay Lake.
Yeah, I've been seeing their reels pop up on my feed, so yeah, I guess I kind of do.
He's gonna give you more like.
Yo, what up? Like, are you guys doing some call reviews? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, so we're all in Tim Chow's training mentorship. And so Yenny and I really started closing probably what, a month ago?
A month ago, yeah.
How's
Um,
it been going so far?
Not great from my perspective. I'm not closing at the rate that I want to yet. And I'm curious, just because I'm so new, whether it's fully just a skill issue or whether I'm on a bad offer. At this point, I don't want to be that guy who just blames the leads, but
Yeah.
I don't have enough perspective to even know, you know?
So what's the offer?
So I do YouTube monetization. So the way that we get leads, it's cold outreach to YouTube channels. We have Filipino setters. They go out,
You have Filipino setters?
yeah, they just email people all day.
And then
So
do you triage the call?
what do you mean?
Like, do you call the lead and set the appointment for yourself from the email?
No, they book in on a Calendly through the setters. So the setter sends them a Calendly, they book themselves.
But like when you see the appointment show up on your calendar, do you call them immediately?
No, I don't.
What was your first problem? Is your show rate low?
It's like fifty
So
percent
low. Low.
Okay.
Yeah. So rule of thumb is as a closer, like anytime you see someone pop up on your calendar, the first thing you should do is triple dial them
Okay.
immediately. Because like the time from when they're booked in from an email to like that call, all it's just human experience. They're gonna tell them reasons why they don't need to show up, they don't need to spend money right now. But if they book in, imagine you see an email from an offer, you book in and someone calls you immediately like, hey, what's up, man? I saw you booked an appointment on my calendar for 5 p.m. Tuesday. I want to give you a quick call just to see if we could even help you out, make sure that time's worth or make sure that call's worth your time. You'd be like, shit,
Okay.
okay. What's up, dude? So like then on that setting call, you can actually get them in the buying pocket. And then also ensure that they're going to show up with decision makers, with their business partners, 45 minutes at their computer, stationary, not driving their car, ready to make a decision.
Okay.
And then also a buying pocket, what that really means is like you've actually identified a problem that they're running into that YouTube automation can solve that can get them to their desired goal, whatever that is, whatever it's making more money. And what does that even mean? Like, okay, you want to make more money, but why? And all these different things. Like you can get them in that buying pocket before they show up. So then when you're on the demo call, now you have a relationship built. You can set a frame where it's like, hey man, I know we had a conversation before, but I speak to like, 8 to 10 people kind of wanting to get into this a day. I want to make sure I'm focused on you and how we can help. Kind of give me a bird's eye view, catch me with the speed in terms of like what specifically you're looking for out of this and like how we can help. Now you set the frame, their guards down, and then you can get right in your discovery process.
Okay.
Also with the decision makers there, also with them at a computer, stationary, not driving their car, because I know how a lot of this goes.
Yeah.
So you probably have some process skill deficiencies, but also like what's the offer, like OTEs, what's the price point, what type of people are
Yeah.
you talking to?
Yeah, so there's three other closers that Well, not technically there's five other closers, but two of them are just as new as me, and then there's three that have been on it for a few months now. The three that have been on it for a few months now, closing rate ranges anywhere from like 5 to 15%.
5%?
Yeah. Or
What
no,
the
no, no,
fuck?
not 5, 15 to 25%. My bad. Of like people who show up. I'm at
On a
5%, which is
on
fucked
an
up.
info offer?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, some
So,
of them
but tell
are
you the truth, it sounds like you got both problems. Like it's a shitty offer, and also you obviously have some skill deficiencies that you could work on.
yeah,
But also
100%.
probably just process stuff. But the reality is, like, and I'm not like, I think the reason why I got into sales management was I think a lot of high ticket coaching offers. It's just a lot of fucking bullshit. Like they teach the same old frameworks from like 2018. That's like
Yeah.
super corny. And then like it just raises a bunch of sales resistance on every single call because everyone sounds the exact same. And then they give you the same job board that 15 other communities have. To
Mm.
tell you the truth, they're all use the same guy. Like the good offers will never hire from it because they know it's just a bunch of shit. The good
Hmm.
offers will connect with sales managers like me, and then I'll actually tell them like which ones I want or which ones you should get.
Yeah.
So like there's something that's good about being in a sales training program, but you have to have a good like reputation. And unfortunately, a lot of like sales coaching programs don't have good reputation because it's just content creators that did high ticket sales in 2020.
Yeah.
So it's a sticky game. Like the weird thing about the high ticket sales space, I told Chris this when he was reaching out about an offer and I was hiring for a setter, so I hired him because his tonality was so good. I was like, dude, I'll make you a killer. Your tonality is very good. Um, but like that's the hard part is a lot of the guys with the big brands that have like the Lambos and all the bullshit that they rent, they're the ones that are getting all these guys in high ticket sales, but they're the ones that don't have good reputations with offer owners because like they've tried to manage an offer and did a horrible job with it. So the offer owner fired them. So now all their money depends on core sales.
Yeah.
That's just the hard truth. Like that's like for example, you're on an offer where you have Filipinos setting DM Calendly bookings. There's no obviously no process or training on your offer to tell you to even call the leads immediately. Do you even get like scripts and processes from these guys? Like, do you have a sales manager?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same, it's basically the same script that are teaching because they're working with my sales manager who is then working with us, right? So it's basically the same thing that you could be getting for 9.99. You know, heavy's the head that wears a crown and all that.
Jesus Christ. They had that in the script.
Yeah, they have it in our objection handling stuff.
Wow. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
tough, man.
crazy. So they give you fucking they just give you guys word tracks for objections versus like an actual framework.
Basically, yeah. And because I just have the script, like one of the things I liked about doing a mentorship was that they taught it as a framework to allow you the flexibility to have the conversation. With this offer, they're like, you basically have to big dick everybody so that they fit into the framework, right?
It just
And
doesn't work. You're working against it.
it doesn't because when they come in, they already have some resistance. One, because they think that I'm the offer owner before they get on the call, and then they get on the call and they see this young, handsome Asian man who's very charismatic, you know. But despite that, I'm not the person that they were expecting to meet. And so I'm when I am going off script and I'm bringing these reviews to my manager, I'm getting the like, hey, here's what's going wrong is that you're going off script here.
But the script
It's like,
doesn't work.
I mean, it works if everybody follows,
Well, you
your
just told me that
lead right
the
away.
guys are
So,
closing 5 to 15%. That means it doesn't work. Like for example, Chris is closing at like 65%.
yeah, we don't have anybody closing above a 25% right now.
And I don't want to jump on here and say these guys don't know what they're doing because they obviously make good money, but a lot of their money does come from like core sales because
Yeah.
you can't use the same like the script and the framework are going to be very custom to the offer. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can't sell a Google drop shipping course the same way you can sell like lead generation for fucking roofing contractors. It's just completely different.
Yeah.
Yenny, what about you? What offer you on? Like, are you doing okay or is it like similar?
Um, I mean, I took 37 sales calls and I closed seven. And
Oh,
technically, three out of the seven was cash collected, but then the other four was follow up. And then two out of the four was triage calls. Um, as far as like with my offer, I'm not getting enough volume, and there are DQ leads too. These last 2 days is like, or to tomorrow and the next day have been booked the most amount of calls I've ever had since I've been on this offer, which is 3 calls a day. I usually get 1 to 2 calls. Some of them cancel, some of them no show. But her ICP is a lot of college students, um, a lot of housewives that have to talk to their husbands, but their husbands can't be on the call for whatever reason. And yeah, I mean, it's it's bad to say the least. I do a fitness scaling offer, and it was a launch, and I honestly I'm kind of losing conviction of the offer I'm selling as well because I feel like I just need more volume.
Well,
Like,
it's a catch-22 because everyone's going to tell you need to improve your skill set, but the way you improve your skill set is by getting on calls with qualified leads.
yeah.
Like, there's not much you can do with fucking DQ leads that are just the way I look at it is like a lot of these offers, unfortunately, they're just so poorly marketed. Like, so poorly marketed. Like, this guy's like for you, Colby, like you're getting on appointments with the guys who are coming from an email that think you're the offer owner. There's no alignment. Like what I've learned about managing offers is like there has to be marketing to product or marketing to sales to product alignment.
Hmm.
If marketing to sales to product is not aligned, it fucks the salesperson up. Because if marketing says one thing and the product's something completely different, and then the sales team has to somehow marginally make the two mix when it's just not even aligned whatsoever, like you're just getting fucked. So it sounds like both of you guys are on pretty shitty offers. But obviously you guys can probably let me ask you guys like with training with Tim, like do you guys get a lot of training with him?
I'm not in Tim Shaw's program. I That's where I met Colby and Chris. But I filed a chargeback with that guy, and then I'm on a different program.
Let me ask you guys this, like what process have you guys really learned? Because I feel like a lot of B2C guys, like you mentioned like the whole heavy the king, where's the crown bullshit. Like what
Yeah.
process are like I would say even less than like just like the questions you ask, more like just straight up sales process. Like when a lead comes in, what do they teach you guys to do?
Yeah, you mean just like when we get on the call with him in particular, or just from A to B
Just sales
or A to
ops,
Z?
A to B, like a lead comes in, name number, populates you Slack. What do we do as a sales rep?
Yeah, so basically what I was told is that when I have somebody on my calendar, if they're 5 minutes late, you text them, you call them to try and get them on the call, and then if they're not, then you just follow up with them maybe a couple days later, try to get them back on the calendar. But in terms of actually nurturing the lead beforehand, because it's expected that they're from the customers or the prospects perspective that they were going to be meeting with the offer owner, they don't want us to reach out because, you know,
So they're framing it as you're going to talk to the offer owner and then bait and switch, get a closer on the call,
yeah,
lie and close the deal.
pretty much. It doesn't feel great.
Wow.
Not
I'm not
him.
gonna lie. So Chris has been bugging me about starting a training program. I can't believe how bad it is.
Dude, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Like think about it, like why would we wait to see if they show and then wait 5 minutes to call and then text and try to get them rebooked? It's like the whole point is like just in general of data and marketing and sales. 80% of sales for any business, whether it's B2C, info, B2B, whatever the case is, comes from the first touch point of the lead, the first 24 hours. So what
Mhm.
that means is like the way that I manage my sales teams is we need to be fast as fuck. Like when a lead comes in, I don't care if they book on Thursday, call them immediately 3 times. Usually they're going to answer if we call them 3 times in the first 2 minutes that they book through the appointment. On that call, the goal is to triage. Or you can run a 2 call close where it's like you push appointments to a setter, a phone setter. The phone setter does the same thing or books the appointment for the closer. For a lot of these offers, they do 1 call close straight to closer, kind of like how you guys are both on. So what that means is like if you're a closer, well, my teams, I pay you an extra 5% to triage your own calls. So you can set and close your own calls, make 15% commission, make more money. But the reason I incentivize my reps to do that is because I want you guys to be fast. Like speed to lead is way more important than doing $500 a day. All these guys will preach like working hard and doing $500 a day. That's fucking stupid. I'd rather work smart and work efficient because that's where you make money in sales. So if a lead comes in, never wait if they show. Like you should call them immediately, like as fast as possible with that same frame. Hey, what's up, man? This is Clay. I saw you booked in for Thursday. I want to actually give you a call as soon as possible just to make sure that we can make that, meeting as efficient as possible. So you got a few minutes? Cool, man. So what even really kind of made you reach out? Like what specifically about the email or what specifically about the YouTube video? What specifically about the ad, wherever they came from, kind of actually made you think like this might be something that's, actually piquing your interest? Discovery. Also, can you grab me a beer from the fridge? Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna get these guys some sauce. The next thing is like, okay, you get them on the call. What's the discovery process? So I don't really do a lot of, so I came from the B2B world. So for context on, for you guys, like I was a sales rep on B2B offers first. B2B marketing agencies to be specific, which are very shitty offers, to be honest. Like we just kind of bullied our way to make 6 to 8K a month in commissions for like a year. And then the minute I got an opportunity to go sell for an info offer, which is Joel Kaplan's offer, and now, I manage his team. But when I was a sales, that was the first offer I got that was actually legit offer with a legit OT where I can make 20K plus as a rep.
Mm.
But like before that, it was a marketing agency offer. So like we had to bully our way through it. So in a discovery process, it's not so much about like the little like bullshit, like emotional questions that these guys teach you how to ask because they don't get you anywhere. You sound like everybody else. Like the key is like what do you really need to know in a sales process? Like in order for someone to buy, we obviously need to know like where are they currently at, what's their current situation that they're not happy about, what are they in pain about, what do they what
Put that in the other hand so you don't burn me.
what do they doubt that whatever they're currently doing is not going to get them to where they want to go. So it's very specific. Instead of like asking like I hear like binary questions. No, it's confusing. Like sales isn't supposed to be hard. It's actually supposed to be pretty easy. Like it's a conversation. Like you're reaching out to someone who's interested in an offer. So it's a conversation about, okay, man, you're interested in this. What are your goals? What are you specifically trying to get out of this? What are you currently stuck in? What have you tried before? Why hasn't that worked? Okay, so you want to be here. What do you need from us to actually get there? Why do you want to get there? But not like, well, why? Why do you want to make more money? Of course you want to make more fucking money. It's more like framing the why question. Like instead of asking someone, hey, you want to make 10K a month? Why? What's the deeper meaning behind that? It's more like, hey, man, I talk to a lot of different people. Like for some people, 10K a month is like, hey, I can cover my rent. I can cover my car payment. I can make sure my kids are eating. I don't have to worry about things. For some guys, 10K a month is financial freedom. You can travel the world. You can do what you want. For you, it sounds like you said 10K a month before. What specifically, like, why that number? Less corny, you get the same answer. You get more trust. You have less sales resistance. Then it's like, okay, with that being said, I'm sure you're probably shopping around for different opportunities online. Why this opportunity? Sell the opportunity. Now they want Google Ads dropshipping or AI or whatever the fuck you're selling or fitness, whatever they're obviously fitness is a little bit different. But then it's like, okay, well, what specifically are you looking for in a mentor and a coach and a program to actually help you get to those goals and get really real with them? Because like whatever they tell you is what you're going to pitch them. Like your discovery is supposed to create a problem that your pitch answers. It's not supposed to be like binary questions and future pacing solutions and heavy the king, where's the crown? Like none of that shit is real. If someone asked me, if I said I need to think about it, and he said, you ever heard heavy the king, where's the crown? I would jump off the Zoom immediately.
Facts.
If I said, hey man, I kind of got to think about it. It's a big expense. It's a big expense. And he said, you think that's a problem or a symptom of the problem? I would say, what the fuck do you mean by that? If I was a prospect. So like a lot of it's upsetting for me and because me and Blake, we were business partners for a while. We're kind of still are in a way. It's interesting. We kind of have our own management things, but like we see all this shit online too. And that's why Blake makes fun of all of it on his Instagram because it's very upsetting because I feel bad for guys like you guys where like you want to get an opportunity, you're hungry for an opportunity. But the truth is you guys are getting fed a bunch of shit because that doesn't work in real life. Like those little like frames, it doesn't work
Yeah.
because it's not real. It's not like it's so because you don't want to be so scripted. You want to have a process and a framework. You want to set a frame. You want to have good discovery. You want to have good transition. You want to have a good pitch. You want to do a temp check. You want to get them bought in before price. Then you want to drop price and handle objections. But they're teaching you guys these things that are just copy and paste for 500 17-year-old kids who want to be in high ticket sales. So then you have a 5% close rate.
Yeah.
And then the hard part too is a lot of these offers don't have real management. Like the manager was a high ticket sales rep for 2 months, got a little bit of motion on TikTok, and now he's the manager and he does like 3 calls a week with the sales team to like crack jokes about the offer and get off. There's no real KPIs. There's no projections. There's no daily syncs. There's no daily roadblocks. There's no scripts and processes. There's no tracking. There's no bonuses. There's no structure. It's all fugazi. That's the problem.
Yeah. So with that being said, as two people in me and Yenny's position, what advice would you give us to find a solid offer? Like as far as vetting offers goes, of course, you can ask them about their monthly rev. You can ask them how many closes that they have. You can do the math. That part's the easy part. But what are the other questions that I should really be looking for as I go through the process of finding a new offer?
The main thing I ask is like how many sales reps are already on the offer?
Yeah.
What's your best sales rep making? What's your average sales rep making? What are the actions? Like if I'm a sales rep, like, cause I recruit too. So like when I'm on interviews, I'll ask things like, okay, number one is show up to as many group interviews as you can, by the way. A lot of the real recruiters. So Blake does like pretty much full-time recruiting. I do a lot of management. So I get a lot of my reps through Blake.
Yeah.
because me and him ran businesses together. He runs a daily or a weekly on Tuesdays. Like we get like 40 sales reps on Zoom calls to recruit for these offers that we manage. And we just look out for who stands out. Like we ask specific questions to see who's like going to raise their hand and actually stand out in front of 40 people. Because what happens is that group interview, by the end of the group interview, we find out who's the ones that like should be hired. Like we'll ask the group, like, who do you guys think should be hired? It's always the same 3 to 4 people. And those same 3 to 4 people are answering questions like, what do you do on a slow month? Because every offer is going to have times where marketing slows down. What are you doing on the days and the weeks that leads slow up, leads are unqualified? How are you still making money? Well, how you answer that question is important. You know, is it like, oh, I go walk my dog? Or is it like, I'm on the dialer, I'm on my pipeline, I'm organizing, I'm prospecting within the low ticket community, I'm doing everything I can to create more opportunities for myself. If you don't have experience, it's also good just to be fucking honest about it. I hire based on coachability and energy and I would say experience in a specific field. So like what helps is if I'm hiring for an info offer, like you guys both are selling info offers. I like that because you know how to sell to a biz op audience that's very beginner. If I'm selling for a B2B offer, I probably won't take someone from a biz op offer. It wouldn't make sense because there's just the transferable skills aren't there. So we look for like coachability. We look for transferable industry acumen. Like where's your actual knowledge base? Have you sold info? Have you sold B2B? What are the cases that we're hiring for? And then also really the main thing is just kind of energy. Do you have good tonality? Are you on time? Are you showing face? Are you like kind of in a shell? Are you like okay with being yourself and being out and open? Because those are the best salespeople. Sales is a very big energy thing. The number one thing you can do as a manager on an offer is to keep the energy there. That's why a lot of these, like, you guys don't even have real managers on your offers. Chris is a great sales rep, but I'd manage the team like a motherfucker. We run daily syncs, we do daily roadblocks, we have goals. Like I'll host a whole Zoom meeting from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. with the setters to make sure they're fucking dialing. So there's specific things that we look for. I mean, to tell you the truth, the best thing you can do is it's a lot. Like it gets deep with recruiting because like we teach you guys like I mean that's why you're pushing me to start the offer, but it's like okay, what does your Loom video actually look like? How many times are you following up? What are you saying on that Loom video? How's your tonality? How do you present yourself there? How do you present why I should actually hire you? Then it's like, how do you present yourself in that first initial call? Then it's like, how do you present yourself in the group call? How do you present yourself on the third recruiting call? In terms of, can you role play? Are you prepared? Do you have a process that you can tell me? Do you have a specific call example that you can walk me through why that person closed or why that person doesn't close? Do you have a specific framework you can talk to me about? Like we ask a lot of specific examples. The truth is, this is why the high ticket space is hard. You're not properly educated and prepared to actually get hired on a real role that has real OTE.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they throw you in a Slack channel, they throw you in a job board channel, and they throw you in group coaches that the guy doesn't even fucking show up to half the time. It's the truth. In reality, there is a lot of like to hire a high ticket sales role on a really legit offer, because I won't manage an offer unless I see like 500K plus potential with it. Because otherwise there's no like as a manager, I'm not gonna put all this time into earning 10% of a company's cash collected if we can't do at least 500,000, or at least if I can't see we can track to it, even if we have slow months like we had last month. I know we can track to it. We have the right team around us. So it's like, in order for me to hire for that role, like it takes a very specific person. I'm not just going to hire anybody and fire anybody. Like I'm going to take them through a recruiting process.
Mhm.
But a lot of guys also just aren't quite frankly trained enough up yet, or they're trained on like the classic stuff that doesn't work, that like a manager on a real offer, quite frankly, I'll just be honest, like we don't want to take 2 weeks. Oh shit, someone just closed? Good shit. Nice. We don't want to take 2 to 4 weeks to ramp you up on a new like process when like you're so stuck, because a lot of reps have a lot of ego. I bought Tim Chow's course. I know how to sell. I won't hire that person. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
because of ego, like ego kills sales reps. The reason I loved Chris was like when I first had the conversation, he's like, bro, I don't care. I'll start as a fucking DM setter. I'm looking for an opportunity. I'll follow a process. I'll learn. I'll do the dials. I'll work all day long. I was like, perfect. I'll take you and make you rich. So like the biggest thing that you can do is be someone who's very like open to coachability, no ego, willing to learn and willing to work. And like people can see that. And also obviously like being prepared. Like that's one thing that I feel like a lot of these sales training programs don't do either, is like getting prepared to actually get placed. Because that's kind of the first thing, right? Is like
Yeah.
they'll tell you, hey, we're gonna give you 21 days to learn the process and then get placed. In reality, it's like, how can we get you placed as soon as fucking possible? So the first step is like, how do we actually train you to get recruited? How do you present yourself? It's not like this little Canva itinerary of like your name and where you've worked. Like that, I don't even look at those resumes as a manager, to be honest with you guys. I don't even look at them.
Yeah.
I look at the Loom videos. I'll be honest, I'll watch the Loom videos.
Yeah.
How should you present yourself in the Loom videos?
The Loom videos, we actually have a specific process for it. It's
Mhm.
immediately get to the point. So like introduce yourself. One of the biggest frames I love on Loom videos is like, hey, what's up? I don't want to waste your time. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself, why I think I'd be a great fit for this role. Then get right into like number one, what do offer owners want to hear? We actually want to hear about why the role. So like if it's a fitness coaching program, hey, I saw that you sell fitness coaching. I'm super passionate about this. I think I can really understand the prospects and level with them. I actually care about, getting people results. I think
Mhm.
I'm someone that can really communicate the value of your offer really great. Next thing is experience. If you don't have an experience, whatever experience you have, you can always tailor it to make the Loom video sound good. But I always tell people with zero experience is like full transparency. I've never actually sold high ticket before. I have invested in training. I have done a lot of education on my own. I have sold XYZ, whether dude, even if you worked at Zara, it's like I've worked in customer support. I've sold clothing before. I've done X, Y, and Z. And like I have a really good skill at being able to communicate. I feel like that I have good tonality with people. I feel like I can gain trust with people. So it's like a little slight experience level. Then we get into like what specifically you can expect from me. What you can expect from me as a sales rep is I'll show up every single day on time, ready to go. I'm extremely coachable. I'm very open to feedback. And I'm really someone who wants to follow a process and do whatever is going to make the company the most money. Then it's like you kind of do the whole like, how do I get a hold of you? Make yourself sound somewhat busy. So like what I'll do is like instead of saying like you can hit me up anytime at this number, it's like as of now, I'm most open from noon to 2 p.m. on Thursdays. Also, if you have a booking link that I can book on for, for an appointment, I would love to book on. I'll take the time myself to find some time that works for you. Thank you. I don't want to waste any more of your time. Like 2 minutes. But it hits all the key points that we want to hear. Why do you want to sell from me? That's a quick introduction, straight to the point. Why do you want to sell from my offer? What experience do you bring to the table? What can I expect out of you as a sales rep? Where can I connect with you? That's the 5 things that we hit. And then it's also just mass outreach. Like it's mass outreach. If you have 100 applications coming in a day for offers, like it's how can I go do 100 outreaches a day? Like you will get a good offer. And the goal also is to like have enough offers that actually like do enough outreach to where you have options. So if you have 5 options of offers that are like, hey, we're willing to like bring you on, now you can kind of have the frame on these calls where it's like, hey, full transparency, I got about 4 offers I'm choosing from. And now you kind of hold the frame on the recruiting call. That'll really impress a recruiter, by the way. If you're actually like, hey, like real quick, I do have, multiple options. Can you kind of give me some context on like the offer, the price point, what's the average order value? What's your current kind of KPIs for the company? Like if you ask these questions, like it impresses us. Like, okay, shit, I'll tell you all of it. Because it for me, when I hear those questions, I like it because I'm like, this is someone who's going to come in, follow my process, be coachable. I can ramp them within 48 hours and get them on the calendar.
I just had the coolest idea ever.
What's up?
Weekly webinars, me and you, because I'm watching you do this. Scott's like
Should we run weekly webinars?
doing exactly what we're doing right now and just showing you guys all this shit.
But these are also
we did a-
specific things. So, for example, this is where a lot of guys miss is like
And they know us.
they tell you
Yeah, it
to
goes to-
learn
they go
like
around
the
every-
catch 22 because they're like we have to teach you high ticket sales and then you'll get a job. But you learn high ticket sales through doing high ticket sales. You know what I mean? Like it should
Yeah.
be get an offer first because then like when you're actually on calls, then the call reviews actually make sense.
Yeah, and that's something that I noticed through my training too, is that people give you a lot of, obviously, once you're in a community with other people that are training, you're doing mock calls constantly with other people that are training. You're not necessarily people that are actually on an offer, people who know what it's like to be actively closing with a prospect. And none of the issues that I'm actually dealing with now ever came up when I was mocking. So, like, for example, when you ask somebody a question and they give you something completely fucking different than exactly what you just said or asked for. When you start to go through your process and they just start flipping and trying to take frame from you. That never happened when I was mocking, except for when I mocked with Chris. And that was because he was on an offer and actually was dealing with that shit.
It's
So
because
it's
these
like,
guys aren't on sales calls, guys.
yeah,
Like I hate to break it. Like they haven't taken a fucking high ticket sale and I don't even know how long. That's why I still do calls. Like I'll still take a call here and there on the offers because I want to stay hot. If I'm not sharp, how the fuck can I train my reps?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
it just doesn't make sense to me. It's not the same as like a boxer or like a boxer trainer. Like you have to be in the game with sales. Like otherwise you lose touch.
Mm.
Because also the market changes. Like the market is highly sophisticated and highly burned now. The old shit doesn't work anymore because they've been burned by the same sales process that you guys are currently using. That's why the process, like literally my setter frame, guys, for my offers is like call the elephant out in the room. If you're in a saturated market, hey, what's up, John? I know you probably see 1,000 of these ads every single day, all day long. The last thing I want to do is pitch you something you've already been pitched before. So before we even get into how we can help, give me a little bit of context on like if you've been through something similar to this before, how what you're actually looking for and how we can help. I don't want to waste your time. They're like, oh my God, finally someone that gets it.
Yeah.
You're right, dude. Matter of fact, I've actually bought 3 courses that fucking sucked. You're like, let's talk about it. And then you break down all the shit that went wrong in the other offers, everything. Like you gain all the ammunition you possibly need to understand how to sell your offer different. Because people will always buy different, custom, one-on-one before they'll buy like new and better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Wow.
So
Yeah, you guys should start doing webinars. I mean, I even just from gosh, probably talking to you for the last 30 minutes, I feel like I've learned so much more than I have in the last 3 weeks.
So like owner responsibility, you put the responsibility on them.
here's the problem with this
Mhm.
is it's so much.
Is it? Yeah, my sales calls, like I was looking at Chris's sales calls and his is like under an hour. Mine is like 2 hours long.
Yeah, because like at scale, how can you take 10 2-hour calls a day? It's 20 hours. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, think about it as a closer to make 10K a month and you do the math and you know how many units you need to sell. Like, you need to like backwards math, how many calls do I have to be on? How can I be efficient with my time? Because if every single call is 2 hours long, and there's always gonna be calls that take more time,
Mhm.
but you also have to give yourself time for objection handling. And then people run out of time, and you do the hard stop, and you lose the deal.
Right.
That's why I don't like such heavy scripts because like scripts, they make it to where as a closer, you're robotic. You're a robot. You're not human. You don't have any time to just have a conversation with someone. So like anytime I'm like bringing on a closer, like for the most part, there's 3 things that are always gonna be the same in every sales call. The frame's gonna be similar, the transition's gonna be similar, the pitch is gonna be similar, and the temp check.
Mm.
Like objection handling and discovery, you have to be able to be kind of like you have to be able to be like, a little bit like water. Like you can kind of customize the questions you ask and it's in a conversational flow. So it's more important to just kind of know your main things you need to hit. So like that's why the framework I teach, it's not so much about all these like word tracks and all these like things you have to say word for word because not every sales call is going to be like that. It's very rarely, do you ever find it's like very rarely for it to just go perfectly in order? There's going to be certain things that the client's going to say that you're going to want to probe on. You're going to want to ask an example. You're going to want to ask a specific
Yeah.
example on something.
Yeah.
So like it's more of like just kind of having these main things you want to hit, right? Which is literally just simply this. What's their current situation? If it's a make money offer, how much money we're currently making? What are we currently doing to make money?
Mm.
Mhm.
How long have we been doing that? What else have we tried to make more money in the past? Why is that not able, like, why are you not able to make more money? Are you capped at that current income, whatever the case is, whatever you're currently doing? Can you work more hours to make more money? No. Okay. Can you work harder to make more money? No. Okay. So like what's worst case scenario? Like if you don't do anything different, what's going to change in your life? Nothing. Those are the 3 things you hit immediately. So you have pain in their current situation, you have doubt in their current method or their current, whatever they're currently doing to make money. And then 3, you have the cost of inaction. Then I get right into a desired situation where it's like, at this point, I'm already probing. I already got them like all the emotional pain points and stuff. I've already gotten that within the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Wait,
Because
so
I'm just,
you do cost of inaction before you do future pace?
yep. My process is like current situation,
Mhm.
pain in their current situation, and doubt in their current method. Then
Mhm.
cost of inaction. Because at that point, it makes sense because I've already developed so much pain and like we've already talked about so much about like why they're not happy with wherever they're currently at.
Mm.
And we've already talked about like what else have we tried and why has that not worked?
Right.
So it's like, well, what happens if this continues? It kind of flows. Like the way I built my process is just after taking 1,000+ sales calls and being like, how do I make this in order versus having to jump all over my script? So I just built a framework on like, what is almost every single sales call that I close go in order? And it was like current situation, pain and doubt, cost of inaction, desired situation, which then is like we've already talked so much about the negatives, so I want to turn the conversation into a positive note. Hey man, obviously we've talked a lot about like what's currently going wrong, what you're actually looking to get out of. Let's actually talk about where you're looking to go forward. If we can kind of help you with some of these things that you just mentioned, what's specifically the ultimate goal? What do you want out of this? What if it's a make money offer? How much money do you want to make? Right? How much money do you have to make to actually, kind of like that question you were going over, like how much money do you have to make to actually get to the point where like you can overdo what you're currently making and quit that and go all in on this? Then I get more tactical. Instead of being like, well, why do you want to do that? It's more like, Well, when you're looking for a mentor, when you're looking for a program, what specific things, what's your criteria that you're looking for to actually achieve that? What tangible things do you need? What deliverables do you need to actually hit that goal? It makes it more real because the things that they tell me are real things that I can pitch them. Because the pitch and the discovery need to be very hand in hand. Like I need to create the problem that my pitch brings the solution to. So it's very specific the way I ask the questions because like then I get all of the ammunition I need from their past experiences in the stage one of pain. I get all the ammunition I need about why they're currently not happy, what they've tried in the past, why that hasn't worked, why if they change nothing, nothing's going to change or get worse. Then I get into like, well, where do we want to go? And what specifically do you need from me to actually help you get there? And then I kind of frame the why question. But instead of asking why, framing the why question is a little bit more tactical. It's like, hey, look, I talked to a lot of people, man. You mentioned you want to make 15K a month. Like, does that just kind of get you out of debt, cover life expenses, make sure food's on the table, and you're not stressed out on a day-to-day basis? Or is it like that's the number that you've actually kind of identified in your mind that's financial freedom, where you can travel, where you can do what you want, whatever you're selling. Obviously, it's custom to the offer you're selling, right? I'm talking about make money offers because that's mainly the offers that I've sold. Fitness would be more like, you mentioned that your goal weight is this. Like, why
Well,
that?
it's not a fitness offer, it's a fitness scaling offer. So I'm talking to people who want to start and monetize their online presence and start their fitness business.
Oh, so it is a make money offer.
Yeah, it's a biz op, yeah. But it's just like college students that want to do it or housewives that want to see her like lifestyle and want her lifestyle and think that that's the way to get to her lifestyle.
But you know what the core root of it is like it's not all about emotion, it's about money. Because
Yeah.
think about it this way, what makes most of our decisions in life? Actually genuinely think about it. Is it our passion, our heart, our care, or is it our money?
Money.
Well, doesn't it correlate to each other though? Your passion,
It
it
does,
reflects.
Maybe once you have money, you can
but
do more of
it's
the passion stuff.
money is the main driving motivator,
Mhm.
especially for men. Because status and money is man's most important thing. They can say it's their wife and their family. It's not. It's their mission, it's their status, it's their money. Because their mission, their status, and their money gets them the family and the wife they want for the most part in the world. So like that's why my sales process is so much more about like honestly income.
Mm.
And why is this income keeping you stuck here? What does this income make you? Because money is the biggest motivator. Everybody's like, if I was just making 10K a month, I could live here. If I
Mhm.
was just making 10K a month, I could do this. If I was just making 10K a month, I wouldn't have to have the shitty fucking Wi-Fi. I could get the good Wi-Fi. Like obviously stupid examples, but money is the biggest motivation. So like, especially in a make money offer, why'd they click on the ad? It wasn't to feel better about themselves. It was to make more fucking money.
Mhm.
Because what does making more money do? Makes them feel better about themselves.
What about
Well,
like
that's why this
housewives?
is the symptom of the fact that they're not making money the problem or the solution?
That's the funny. It's like it's not the problem. The problem is they're not making money. That's why that stupid objection handle is so stupid. It's like it's not the symptom. The problem is I'm not making money.
Mm.
And like if you're selling a make money offer, your make money offer is not solving their symptom, it's solving their fucking problem.
Facts. Breach.
You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
what about housewives? Like, what about people who their husband takes care of everything? They just doing it because they want to be cutesy and they want to like buy a cute bag. Like, I've been trying to dig like what is
Think
the
about that. They want to buy a
buyer?
cute bag. Why do they want to make how do they buy a cute bag? Make more fucking money.
Yeah, but there's like no desire. Like, it's like, oh, like your husband can buy you
Yes,
a bag.
there is. There's desire to make more money because they want to make more money themselves. They don't want to be like, oh, I'm just a wife that gets paid for. They want to make their own. They want to be they want to be an independent woman. They want to feel more powerful. How do you
Okay,
feel more powerful? You make more money. It's
okay.
actually that simple. I
Yeah.
So
promise you.
at that point, is it just focusing on like I guess what you're basically just saying is focusing on the money and what the money's gonna do for them.
It's money, but it's like that's the core of it. And then
Mhm.
the core of it is making money. And what is like, because everybody's biggest gap isn't like, I feel like shit and I'm depressed and I want to be happy. Their biggest gap is I'm making no money and I want to make more money to feel more happy.
Right.
So I start at the core of it where it's like, how much are we currently making? What are we currently doing to make money? What else have we tried? Okay, you've been through a community, whatever. Let's talk about that. Why hasn't that worked? So the last thing I want to do is pitch you something that is the same thing that hasn't worked before. Let's actually talk about it. I dig and I dig and I dig and I dig. I get all the bullshit out of their past experience that fucked them, that burned them. Because 99% of objections are uncertainty of the fact that this works because they don't think it's going to work for them because they've been burned before. Almost all the objections come down to that for the most part at this point going into 2026 because everyone's bought some shit. So the process is more about I start with like how much money we make and how much do we want to make, and then I dig below that. So it's like that's where like the questions of like more of the emotional side come out. Because once they tell me, now that we're in stage 3 of desired situation, once they tell me I want to make this much money, I want to make 30K a month, I want to make 25K a month. That's when I can start to get more tangible. So the first thing I kind of go step by step without getting too emotional and raising sales resistance. That's why before I ask the why question, I ask the like, okay, so you want to make 25K a month? What specifically do you need from us to actually tangibly get there? What do you need to see from us? What boxes do you need checked off to feel confident that you can actually hit that income goal with our help? Then they give me all the things that I'm going to highlight in my pitch. Then I ask the why question. Cool, man. Well, I mean, I talk to a lot of different guys, which also correlates back to like my frame. If I talk to 8 to 10 people, look, man, I talk to a lot of different people every single day. Like for some people, 25K a month is like getting out of debt, making sure that they can kind of cover expenses, not stress out, be able to have a little bit of fresh air to breathe. For other people, 25K a month is I can fuck off to Tulum with my homies and do what I want to do on a everyday basis. For you, it sounds like you've thought about this number before, like why 25K versus maybe more.
Hmm.
Then if they say, well, I could do more, it's like, okay, let's keep probing. Let's widen that gap. Okay, well, yeah, let's talk about more. So if 25K a month is just step one, then what do we have to make to actually get the real freedom? What's the truth that you're looking for? The main thing in discovery is you're actually trying to find the truth. What the fuck are they in the sales call for? What do they actually want? Because here's the reality. What they actually want, Yenny, is to make more money. Because when they make more money, they've already put in their brain, 25K a month solves all my personal problems. And to be honest with you, money does solve most of your personal problems. It solved most of my personal problems.
Money's gonna solve all of my problems. I really don't have that many problems.
Think about it. Like if you're making more money, it solves most of your personal problems. That's why I hate the problem to symptom reframe. It's like you're not solving the symptom, like symptom or problem. That's stupid. The make money offer is solving the problem. It's not solving the symptom. Their problem is they're not making enough money because everyone has a specific number in their mind, 25K a month for this example. They've made that number in their mind the solution to all their personal shit. So that's the most important thing. So that's why I asked, okay, you want to make this, what specifically you need from us? What boxes you need checked off to actually get there? And then I frame the why question for like, well, why that number? But instead of asking them why, all that corny gay shit, it's more just like, look, man, I talked to a lot of different people. Is it to like cover expenses, pay off debt, make sure that you can actually breathe on a month-to-month basis? Or is it like, this is where you can actually kind of achieve what you've actually always been looking for? You can buy the bag that you want, like you mentioned. Then the conversation starts to feel, they actually start to feel more built up because you break them down in the beginning. You break them down their pain. It's a pretty negative conversation in the beginning because like they're giving you all the shit they're unhappy about. But you have to have that pain part because like there's no sale with no change and there's no change without pain. That's why pain comes first. But then you want to build them back up to like getting them that goal. And then once you get the like deliverables they need from us to get that goal, and then you actually ask the why question, then it even gets even more granular. You can get even more deep where it's like they tell you all the reasons why behind it. And that's when you can actually probe and be like, well, dude, like kind of give me an example of like, you mentioned this is what's really like the main thing that you're actually looking for. What does your day-to-day actually look like if you're making that much money? What car are you driving? Where are you traveling? That's where the emotional shit can come out. That's where you can get real specific and start to actually paint the picture of what that dream life that they've put at 25K a month. Because that's their key thing. The money is the most important thing because everything follows. They make that number in their mind. We do it. Think about it. Think about it, guys. Think about your dream life. You probably are thinking about if I just make 40K a month, I'll have that goal. I'll be able to be in that location. I'll drive that car. I'll have that purse. I'll have those shoes. I'll have that watch. It's
you
all about the
just
money.
log into a program that don't even exist.
Exactly. Like this is how humans work. I do it too. Like you don't think I have bigger goals than I'm currently making? I'm like, dude, if I can just make 6 figures of profit, I can really do what the fuck I want.
Mhm.
Like, and
Yeah.
funny enough, I don't even really know what that life looks like. I just want it because I just want that number. We're all
Right.
materialistic. So it's like that's why I start with the money. And then what I do after that, I prevent the urgency objection. Because now I've prevented uncertainty. So there's only 3 real objections. There's trust, fear, and urgency. Trust and fear are both bottled into uncertainty, which is they're either uncertain about this program actually works, or they're uncertain that's going to work for them specifically because of false doubts about themselves or because they've been burned by something.
Yeah.
When I go all into the pain and the doubt and the cost of inaction and their desired situation, I prevent all those objections because I get so much ammunition and so much trust with them.
Mhm.
The last one I want to prevent is urgency. So like after I've done all that work, instead of being like, so why now? And they're like, here we go again, Mr. Seventh level. No, I'm not gonna ask him why fucking now. I'm gonna be like, cool, man. So I mean, as far as like actually finding that mentor, finding that program that does check all those boxes, that does make sense financially for where you're at right now, how soon are you looking to get the ball rolling? Way better question than why now.
You know what's
Guess what
funny is
they
that
say ASAP every time.
I was watching Blake his YouTube videos. I watched like all of his YouTube videos when I was in Tim Chow's program because I was
Of
like,
course,
yeah, the
our
course,
course.
the $10,000
Yeah.
course that he dropped. And literally, I was reading this like I wrote it down. Like, and it's literally that. Like, as far as once you find something that checks all the boxes and finally makes sense, like how soon are you looking to get the ball rolling?
Yeah.
Wrote it
You
down,
know
but
what's crazy? I got that question from a closer that used to be on my team. His name was Dale.
really.
And I remember I was watching his call reviews because he was ripping. He was doing like 120 grand a month on a B2B offer. And I remember he asked that question. I was like, bro, that's so fire. But it
Yeah, that
holds a lot of weight.
Mhm.
That question holds a lot of weight at the very end because you get everything you need. You build this massive gap. You prevent all the uncertainty objections. You prevent all the past failure objections. You get them all creating this vision in their mind of what would their life look like after they make this amount of money. And then you ask the like, well, dude, once you find the solution to that, how soon you want to get the ball rolling? And they're like, bro, fucking yesterday.
Mhm.
That's when you know you got them.
Okay.
The beauty of
So
this as well is like the reason why I ask specific questions in the paying part of the call is I already know, okay, I already know I got them sold, but how much can I charge these motherfuckers? Real shit. If they're making good money, I'm raising price at the end of the call. If I know they're pretty broke, okay, I'm already thinking of ways I can frame financing and I can frame payment plans. But I know once I get through this process of my discovery, I know they're sold. Because now I get right into the transition, which is identity bias. Hey man, look, it sounds like you've been through X, Y, and Z. You framed the whole transition about like everything they've been through. These are the problems that you're looking for help with. This is actually why you're looking to get the solution. Dude, based on our conversation, I have no doubt that we can help you. Like you have a good mindset, you showed up to the call, you've been very open and honest. So what I want to do from here is actually kind of walk you through exactly how we can help, what this would look like custom to you, since like I mentioned before, everything we do is very custom. All I ask from you is full transparency. If we get to the end of the call and this checks all of your boxes and you want to get started, I'll show you exactly what it looks like to get started. Or I know I'll show you exactly what it looks like to enroll in the program. Sound good? They're like, yeah, man, I love it. And then you flow right into your pitch, which like your pitch is just specifically designed around what makes you different and custom to like it's personalizing the pitch based on their problems.
Mm.
So then what happens is like again, that's another way. The transition is like the way I transition is a lot better than like, hey, I just want a yes or no at the end of the call, no babies. Sound good? All these fuckers tell you to. It's so stupid. Like if I was on a sales call and someone's like, hey man, I just want a yes or no at the end of the call, no maybes. Is that fair? I'd be like, what? Like, what did you just say? Like, what do you mean, bro? Like I'm here to learn more about your program. I'm not buying shit. But when you frame it in a way where you've done that whole discovery, and now you're like, look, man, I mean, it sounds like all the specific problems you're looking for, we can help you out. You identity frame them in terms of like, you sound like the guy who's like really looking that would really excel with our program. All I ask from you is just full transparency. Feel free to ask me any questions as we go through this. I don't want to give you this full hour-long pretty presentation. I'm very just straightforward about how we can help. But dude, all I ask is just full transparency. If this is checking your boxes, you want to move forward, we'll show you exactly how it looks like to get started. Sound good? Boom. Transition and frame right into the pitch. And then after your pitch, and bear in mind, your pitch, you're doing mini temp checks. During your pitch, you're doing little mini temp checks the whole way through. Then your pitch is you're hitting all the principles of what you went through the discovery. So like if they said something that like where they were burned in the past with something, when you're explaining the program and the one-on-one support or the mentorship or the community, you're saying, hey, remember when you mentioned with this community that you were in before, this is the problem with this. This is what makes it different. Hey, remember when you mentioned that you're supposed to get one-on-one support and the guy never showed up and it was like a booked out calendar? Well, this is actually what makes us different. Let me show you. And you're showing them like what's different about your program the whole way through. So in their mind, literally, if you say different 12 times in your pitch, they just believe it's different. Literally, like this is how we're different. This is how we're different. This is how we're different. Like by the end of the call, like they can't say it was the same as the same thing they've been burned by because like you've literally ingrained in their brain that what you're selling is different from what they've been burned by, which then flows right into an objection handle, which I'll get into. After we get through our pitch, that's when the temp check starts. Do not drop price before your temp check. Your temp check is a 1 through 10 temp check to get a very specific answer and draw out the real objections, which is trust, fear, and urgency, like I talked about. The temp check is a 1 through 10 because I want to ask a very specific question to get a specific answer. If you ask, hey man, how you feeling about everything before we get into numbers? Dude, I love everything. Cool. You get nowhere with that. Everyone, it's such an easy way for a prospect to be like, yeah, man, I like it. So what's the price? But if you say, hey man, before we kind of jump into this, I always like to just kind of take a quick pause before we kind of jump into all the different programs that we can kind of get into and different options we have. I guess just price aside, like just thinking about everything we walked through on a scale of 1 to 10 to make it easy for you, right? In their best interest. If one's like Clay, like I feel like I've seen this before. It sounds very similar to everything I've been through. I really just don't think it's going to help. And 10 is like, this is checking all my boxes that you talked about before. How soon can I get started? And dude, you don't have to sugarcoat it. You can be fully transparent. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Like, where are you at on that scale? Very specific question. Because then if they say, oh, well, it's just going to come out of the numbers. Yeah, dude, well, of course, we'll get around. We'll get right to that. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. But I just want to make sure everything's clear on the program side and the deliverable side, like prices side, where are you at on that scale? 7. Okay. I mean, I was hoping for like a B minus at least, right? I'll make a little bit of a joke because then it kind of like takes the sales resistance down. It's like, oh no, I'll give you an 8. It's like, cool, man. What makes it an 8 versus like a 3 or a 4? I like that better than like an 8 versus a 1 because that's like such a big difference. But if I'm like, what's like an 8 versus like a 3 or a 4? They'll actually explain the things they like about it. Well, I like that you guys do this. I like that you like they start to sell themselves to you about the program or being in it. And then I'm like, okay, well, man, it sounds like it's checking a lot of the boxes. Like, what's keeping it from a 10? That's when the real objection comes out.
Mhm.
It's going to be, I've been burned before. I'm nervous. It's going to come down to numbers, whatever the case is. That's where the real objection starts. And that's where you start objection handling before you drop price. Because the whole goal is to get them to pretty much be like, yes, I'm 2 feet in, price aside. So then when you drop price, it's like if they can afford it, you handle the objection and get the PIF. If they can't afford it, it's you frame financing or payment plans in their best interest. That's my sales process.
So like throughout the whole process, like do you pre-handle anything, or is that like your sales
It's all,
process is the
it sounds like
pre-handle?
it's all pre-handled
It's all
by the
pre-handled?
time you even get to price.
Because like
Um,
at any point, like, why isn't it happening? What are you currently doing is not happening, da 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 da. Like a lot of my prospects, like they'll like I guess the question I asked to pre-handle is like what stopped you from actually getting there? What's prevented you? And they'll give me like an external factor. So like at any point of your sales process, does your prospects
yeah. Well, think about it. Why do you think I ask about past experiences? So instead of asking them, so what prevented you? I just actually find the answer. I'm like, cool, man. So you've been through a few different programs. Let's actually unpack it. The last thing I want to do is sell you something you've already been sold before that didn't work. So
Mhm.
like kind of walk me through like where specifically in that program went wrong.
What
That
if
gives
they've
me the
never
real
what if they've never bought a program? Like
okay,
they're
like so
first
what
time.
made you kind of like why now? Like what specifically made you want to actually do something about it now versus like just kind of waiting and seeing like why haven't you tried anything else?
Because I don't know where to look for. I didn't know this existed. I don't know the information.
Got you. So let me ask you this then, like in terms of like what you've seen, I'm sure you're probably shopping for different solutions. Like what specific things are you actually looking for to help you out? Like what problem are you trying to solve?
I want to be able to build an online presence, monetize it, and do fitness so I can inspire other girls.
So like as of now, how far have you gotten? Like, do you already have a brand? Do you already have followers? Do you already have some sort of motion coming, or is it like starting from ground zero?
Um, yeah, I do have an online presence. I post videos and reels. I'm just inconsistent with it. But I work a 9 to 5. I'm a nurse.
Got you. And like I'm assuming you don't want to do that full time and you want to do the content full time.
Yeah, like if I can, ideally.
Got you. So let me ask you this, like how much would you have to actually make in terms of like doing the content? What's gonna actually make it possible for you to like go in on that full time versus doing the nurse?
10 grand would be good starting off.
Got you. Okay. And then like what specifically is your offer? Like do you have some that you're selling? Like let's say you do have a bunch of, leads coming in through your social media. Do you have a program? Do you have something you're going to sell them? Or like is that something you're also looking for help with?
Yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing or like where to start, how to start.
Got you. Okay. So like would you say that now on top of actually building the online presence is also building the offer is what you're looking for help with?
Yeah.
And this is the first time you haven't seen anybody else kind of offering solutions to this.
It wasn't something that I really looked into until I saw um Sawyer's video on YouTube or Instagram, and it just sparked my interest. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, no, I guess I can understand that. I guess the main thing I'm curious about too is like what specifically about kind of being a fitness influencer stands out to you? Like, is it you're just not happy doing your day to day and being a nurse, or like you're not happy with the money you're making? Like, what is kind of the real reason in terms of like actually making the transition? Because I'm assuming you've probably put a lot of work into becoming a nurse. Like, why throw all that away?
Hey, that's really good. Like you literally just gave all the options that they just could give you to pick from.
I don't even know what offer you're selling. You see what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
just to know my process and my framework. But yeah, to answer your question, like like those questions in my process do that already. Like
Okay.
you don't have to ask them like what's internally behind that, because like when you actually probe around their past experiences, around why they're stuck, around what's the real why they're like, the main thing I've always learned about discovery is like you're genuinely just trying to find the truth. Like let's say you're a nurse and you want to be a fitness influencer. Like you're trying to find the truth of like why. Why do you want to go from being a nurse that you put all this time and effort into, all this school to be an influencer? What's the real fucking reasoning? Is it time? Is it money? 9 times out of 10, it's money. And it's also time. Money and time are much more important to people than even location.
Really? A lot of people say location.
Because money and time usually gives you location for
Just
the
the
most part.
location. Okay, that makes sense.
Think about it. Technically, location, you don't have to make that much money. Like I know digital nomads that are like broke as fuck and they travel the world, but they don't make much money. But they don't value money. People who value money, they want to stay in nice places. Like I'm not going to go stay in some shitty little place in Tulum. I want to make enough money to get a villa. I'm
Right.
very pretentious. I'm very materialistic. That's just how I fucking am. I want to make money. So like that's why I start so much heavy with the core on money, because I just know humans. Like even like we even laugh about it. Cause I'm like, for you guys, like think about it. You probably have a number in your head that gets you all your goals. If I just make this much money, and then what the funny part is, when you start making that money, guess what happens? You just want more.
Yeah.
I remember the first month I made 10K, nothing changed my life. Then I was like, I want to make 50K. Then I made 50K, nothing. That did change. Then I made my first like 80K, and that really changed. And now I'm back down. Like I'm not making 80K a month anymore. I'll just be honest. But I'm getting back there. That's why I kind of want to watch the program, because I could go ahead and squeeze another 40 maybe. But like that's the core of like most human experience is like, if I can just make this, that's why people do horrible shit to make money. That's why people scam, because money's more important to them than people. It's just the law of the world. That's why people like you think about even like the gang movies. Like why do they kill people and sell drugs? For money. You know, why do prostitutes fuck for money? Obviously this is a very extreme example, but like think about it. Like people will go to like very deep, 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 dark holes to make money. It's the number one motivation. So what's the number one reason marriages fail? Money.
Okay,
Do
so
the math.
what if somebody gives you like that? Because I've had a lot of my prospects say that because my offer owner, she like preaches a lot about like Jesus and like, faith-based. So she gets a lot of like Christian women on her calls, and they literally say like money's not important to me. I just want to impact and change the world. Like I want to be able to like I'm in ministry, and I just fitness has just made me feel more confident about myself. So I want to be able to change that and make other women feel more confident. So I mean, for me, like 5 grand would be good. And it's like
Yeah.
just such a
Let me ask you this, Jen. Like in terms of like actually being able to actually fulfill that goal and to actually help people and actually innovate and influence people, like once you say you're going to need some, cash flow coming in from the business to continue to do that. Because if you don't have any cash flow coming into your business, how can you continue to influence the world?
okay.
Would you agree with me that the more people you help, the more money you make?
Okay.
Think about it. I want to help all these people. You can't help all these people for free. You got to pay the bills. You see what I'm saying? Like it's real shit. Like I can't be happy. I cannot train sales reps to make money if I'm not making money for it. At the end of the day, I make enough money where I'm okay. But like, in order for me to help as many people get into high ticket sales and make the commissions they make, I'm not going to take all my time and energy if I can't make any money out of it. Not because I'm a greedy fuck. It's because I literally can't. I can't do it. Like I wouldn't have I can't. It's impossible. You know what I mean? And you're also selling a make money offer, even though it's within fitness influencing. Like they're gonna have the reasons, but you are selling a make money offer.
Yeah. And then at the end of it, I mean, okay, you get into objection handling. Like, how do you deal with the fear objection?
I just use their words against them. So for example,
Mhm.
if like fear is like fear is the same thing as uncertainty. They're uncertain because they're scared.
Right.
Fear is uncertainty. Where does fear come from? Uncertainty. If you're certain about something, you're not scared of it.
Right.
Right?
So how do you deal with uncertainty?
Yeah, it's just uncertainty. So it's like, I mean, it's hard to answer that from like a straight up answer because like there's context. Like,
Mhm.
how do I handle a fear objection for an AI biz op? Is like most times it's because they've been burned by something in the past. So it's like, for example, if you go through a whole objection framework, we haven't even gotten to Sivr yet. Sivr is my objection handling framework. Sivr is like clarify, isolate, validate, reframe. So instead of heavy the king wears the crown bullshit, I actually clarify what the real objection is. You know how a lot of guys on Instagram be like, "Can I give you my perspective?" That doesn't work.
That's literally my framework. That's like,
It doesn't work.
can I challenge you on that way of thinking?
It's so stupid. It's not, I'm not calling you stupid. It's just the people that are teaching you this shit. They're not even fucking doing it themselves. They're just telling you because this is what they see on Instagram, what's converting and getting them more views. If someone says, I need to think about it, and I say, can I share my perspective and challenge you? What's that going to do?
Oh, well, if they say like if I wanna think about it, like the way I was taught is like, okay, yeah, like that's no problem, but just so I can make sure we can help, like what, like, I forgot what
You see what I'm
I
saying? So let me give you an example. This is what clarifies for I need to think about it. Instead of like, hey, let me share you my perspective and challenge you on that way of thinking. Ugh, it's just so weird. I cringe when I say that. Instead, I need to think about it's like, hey, dude, totally understand that's completely normal.
Mhm.
Just for clarification, like just for clarity on my side, I want to make sure I'm sending you the right information in the meantime, so you can actually make a good decision. Like what specific things are kind of running through your mind that you're
Mhm.
kind of thinking about that you're uncertain about that I can maybe bring some clarity to. Boom, real objection comes out. Well, I'm worried about the money. Well, I've been burned before. Well, the real objection comes out after that. Then I isolate on the real objection. So if it's a fear objection, I'll isolate on that. So man, so just for context, it's not that like you don't believe like we have a product that actually works. So you've seen the client studies, you've seen all the success that came from it. It's more about like you're just a little bit uncertain and there's a little bit of fear because you've been through something similar in the past that hasn't worked. Is that fair to say?
Mhm.
Yes. Then I'll validate it, which is not telling them they're right. It's like, hey, I totally understand. Again, I'll validate and normalize it. It's completely normal. Like most people I talk to, they have that same concern. Then I'll reframe. And the reframe comes from like, you just isolate on like, that's what it is. You validate, I can totally understand. And then the reframe is like, but let me ask you this, like, is this something that like from this conversation, if you just take everything away from it, do you feel like it's the exact same conversation you had before? It's the same program you signed up for that hasn't worked? Or would you say it's a little bit different? No, I'd definitely say it's a little bit different. Okay, well, what makes it different? Then they start telling you the things that's different about it, why they actually trust you. And then I'll reframe to close the sale where it's like, well, let me ask you this, man. Like, do you want to let that decision that unfortunately didn't go your way in the past hold power the way you make decisions now if you feel like this system is checking all your boxes to actually grow and actually hit your goal? And they're like, no, I don't want to let that last thing, like I don't want to let that last thing just hold me back from growing now. So it's like, so where do you want to go from here? Like, do you want to keep yourself stuck because of a decision you made before, or do you want to actually make a decision, put your balls on the table, and move forward?
I can't say that to my prospect.
Well, no, but like, I'm just giving you an
Yeah.
example. Like,
Yeah.
that's how Sivert works. Is like you take,
Mhm.
I need to think about it. You get clarity on what they need to think about it instead of like, hey, totally fine, we can book a follow up, or can I give you my perspective, or is that a symptom of the problem? Instead of you're like, hey, just for clarity on my side, before we jump off here, I want to make sure I'm saying the right information in the meantime so you can make a logical decision. Like, what specific things are you kind of uncertain about or kind of thinking through just so I can get you the right info? Then the objection comes out. Then I isolate on the objection. I validate it. Hey, it's totally okay. It's totally normal. But I reframe. But
Mhm.
with that being said, you just mentioned that everything we do is very different. It's not the same thing you've been through in the past. So like kind of make that make sense for me. Like this is where kind of my skeptical tone will come. I'm like, why would you let like something that's completely different that burned you before keep you from making a decision that's completely different that is checking your boxes to help you hit your goal?
Okay.
See how logical it is? It's not emotional at this point. Because at this point, you're so deep into the process that like at this point, it doesn't make sense for them to like they're kind of like, dude, you're fucking right. People, especially biz op, they want to be led. They want someone to lead them to a decision. So our job is to actually lead them to the decision. It's not to push them. It's not to do some weird ninja hacks. It's to actually just help them and consult them into the decision that's the right decision, which is moving forward. And I'll even use frames like this where it's like, look, man, I mean, like, shoot me straight. Like, would you take an hour and a half today with me if you didn't really feel like we could help you out? Like, I feel like at this point, you probably would have hopped off the Zoom, right? Cool. So, like, where do you want to go from here? Do you want to make a decision that's kind of scary, but that's also where growth comes from and jump in and actually, start to see progress towards the goal you talked about? Or, like, do you want to jump off this call and just kind of like feel a little bit defeated that like nothing's really changed?
What about if they give you a time frame? Give me 2 weeks, give me 3 weeks. Are you still
Well,
handling?
think about it. What I asked in the beginning of my call. What's your timeline if everything checks your boxes and makes sense?
Okay, okay, okay.
You see, so like my process is built to handle objections from my discovery. That's why it fucking works. Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I try to be humble about it, but it's fucking genius. Like this process is genius. It works so well. I can sell any offer. I've sold the dentists, I've sold the med spas, I sold the real estate agents, I've sold biz ops for AI, I sold biz ops for Google dropshipping. Dude, I fucking sold everything. It works for everything across the board, B2B and B2C.
I gotta jump on a call.
Yeah, I do gotta hop. I gotta take a piss too. But sales program's coming soon.
Thank you. Thank you for the free sauce.
Yeah, of course.